All right, we shall begin. My name is Fred Grayman, and it's my privilege to welcome all of you in the audience to our concert given by the UK Bronze Handbell Festival. Now, when you hear UK Bronze, you might think, well, where's the silver and the gold, right? Actually, in handbells, bronze is known to be the highest level because the bells are made of bronze. We usually have they're made of tin and copper, and sometimes the beginners are called tins, and the intermediates coppers, and the advanced bronze. So that's why it's called UK Bronze. We've been rehearsing the last 4 days. We all came together and working diligently on 10 pieces of music, all of it very challenging, but we hope it will wind its way into your hearts and give you some pleasure. We're going to start with a piece which actually has two titles. It can be either called a Christmas mix or a Christmas mixolydian. The mix part has to do with the fact that there's 4 different Christmas carols in it, which you'll be tested on when it's over. And they're also mixed. You'll hear one, and all of a sudden a strain from one of the other carols will find its way in. And the mixolydian actually refers to a different kind of a scale or a mode. Normally a major scale sounds like do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. But in a mixolydian, instead of ti, do, it's ti, do. So the 7th is a little bit lowered. So it'll sound a little strange, but hopefully you'll enjoy it. So this is a Christmas mixolydian, all for you. All right. appreciate your response. That's great. The next piece is called, as you can hear from outside, we brought these in special. It's His Eye is on the Sparrow, which is actually a gospel hymn. Come on in, you're fine. Which was composed back in 1905, you're fine, by Sibylla Martin and Charles Gabriel. The story kind of goes that Sibylla and her husband were living in Elmira, New York, and became very, very good friends with a couple who were in terrible health. The wife had been bedridden for about 20 years. The husband was confined to a wheelchair, and they were amazing people in that they always comforted other people and listened to other people and inspired them. And one day Sibylla said, okay, what's your secret? And the wife said, well, it comes from Scripture. His eye is on the sparrow, so I know he's watching me. And so she took that and wrote the words for this beautiful, beautiful gospel hymn. So this is arranged by a young American man named Larry Soup, and we hope you will enjoy. And hopefully there will be a sparrow accompaniment outside. All right, we paid a lot to run it next time. All right. Well, gave a special hand to the birds outside too. We're right on cue. Beautiful. Our next piece is by a very young American woman named Elizabeth Peters in her early 20s, and she's written quite a bit. And that's going to come a little bit later. Actually, the next piece is by a very old American composer, which is called Home to Heaven, and it's written for a very special group of ringers called Music Made in Heaven. I wanted to just read you their mission statement, since it's so beautiful. I was able to work with this group and very touched by what they do. So this is their mission statement. It says, "In honor and remembrance of our children who have died, we, the parents, have created a handbell choir as an ongoing expression of our love for God and joy in the gift of our children. The music, played with bells representing our children, serves as a beautiful contribution our children are continuing to make to the world. We play to express our joy and gratitude for the lives of our children. We also play to inspire healing and hope in others. And most importantly, our playing is a gift to our children, providing them with a way to add beauty to our world through music." This piece is based on the melody Holy Manna, which is one of the earliest published American folk hymns. Din da da din dum, do you know this melody? If you don't, you will. So this is called Home to Heaven. So now we go down a few generations to a piece by Elizabeth Peters, who, as I said, is in her early 20s. And she first wrote a piece called Joy, which was dedicated to a young girl named Joy, who was the daughter of one of her handbell ringers. But Joy had a brother named Paul, and he wanted his own piece too. So Elizabeth had written the piece you're going to hear, but she couldn't just call it Paul. Kind of strange. So she decided, because the rhythms you're going to hear are very Brazilian in nature, she called it Sao Paulo. Okay? So it has a lot of really cool rhythms. Bum, 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 or bum, 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 bum. Okay? Really cool rhythms like that. Okay? So you were allowed to tap your feet. It's actually a tremendously difficult piece to play because you have all these different rhythms going on in different sections and you have to keep it together. So part of your job during this piece will be to pray for us. Right? Okay. So this is Sao Paulo. All right. A 1, a 2, a 3, and 4, and... just more proof that prayer works. So thank you for getting us through that. It was fun to work on and fun to play also. The next piece, Songs in the Night, is an original work for handbells, which means you won't recognize the melody until near the end, where Sandra Tucker, the arranger, uses a little bit of How Can I Keep From Singing, maybe a theme you might know. She wrote it because times have been particularly dark recently, and she thought she would express that, but also hope amidst all of that, with the idea that no matter what's going on, we can still keep singing, we can still keep looking on the bright side of things and doing our best. So this is Songs in the Night by Sandra Tucker. I was going to tell you a couple of more things to listen for. In the beginning, it's almost like a storm. It kind of builds up, and all of a sudden there's like thunder and lightning as the bells are shaking. Then it gets softer and softer, the storm subsides, and this beautiful melody of hope. Later on in the piece, you'll also hear kind of a heartbeat from the basses going yum bum 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 bum, if they do it right. which they have so far. All right. Thank you very much. Appreciate your response. Wonderful. We've just been working just to play for you all week, so it's great. Thank you. So, cholerico, which just kind of means like irritable, bad-tempered. Ever been there? Well, this piece by Matthew Compton is an original piece, and it kind of goes back and forth. It starts very peacefully, then there's an irritable section, it gets peaceful again, and it's irritable. And very interesting. Again, it's a really interesting piece to play because it's largely in 7/8, 1 and the 2 and 3 and 1 and the 2 and 3 and 1 and the 2 and 3, and sometimes even 7/8 to 5/8, 1 and the 2 and 3 and 1 and the 2 and 1 and the 2 and 3 and 1 and the 2 and. So it's a real challenge, but also interesting to listen to because of the shifting accents. So this is they have a life of their own in there. Anyway, we hope it will not make you irritable or bad-tempered. Right. So this is called Aerodrome. The next piece is a piece by Dmitri Shostakovich, one of the great Russian composers of this century. And you might recognize it because it's often used. It's a waltz, which was originally written as movie music and got put into a set of pieces called the Suite for a Variety Stage Orchestra. A variety because he was one of the early people to put a saxophone quartet into the orchestra. So originally the melody that you hear in the beginning is played by a saxophone. So, you all set? All right, so this is waltz number 2, Dmitri Shostakovich, which has been arranged by Gina Marie Williams. was expecting you to get up and waltz, but that's okay. So, champaka, what the heck is that? Well, it's actually a plant where they get an essence from it, a kind of essential oil that supposedly makes you less depressed, a little happier, a little more confident in yourself. So I think we should all try some of that. This was written again by Elizabeth Peters, the young American composer. Also has a lot of interesting rhythms in it. We've got a lot of interesting rhythms this week. But it has 6/8, which you know as 1 and a 2 and a 1 and a 2, and then it has a 2/4, 1 and 2 and. So I'm going to teach you to do this. They're hopeless. I can't teach them. So this is what we're going to do. You just watch 1 and a 2 and a 1 and a 2 and a 1 and 2 and 1 and a 2 and a 1 and a 2 and a 1 and 2 and. Give it a try. Ready and go and a 1 and a 2 and a 1 and a 2 and a 1 and 2 and 1 and a 2 and a 1 and a 2 and a 1 and 2 and 1 and a 2 and a 2 and a 1 and 2 and 1 and a 2 and a 1 and 2 and. Good. So as you leave tonight, you'll be signing up for a handbell choir because you all passed the test. Anyway, so that's the rhythm happening in this piece. It's lots of fun. I think you'll enjoy it. So this is Champaka by Elizabeth Peters. All right. Are you in awe? Yeah, handbells are really interesting as an instrument because normally, in any other instrument, you've got your own line of music. You know, if you're an oboist or a flute or a cello, you've got your line. But in handbells, you only get a little piece of a line, and you're dependent upon all the other pieces. And when you are missing, your notes are missing. So you really have to work as a team. You have to get along with your neighbor. That's the hardest part. No. So, yeah, lots of work. The next piece, we're going to allow you to dream just a little bit. This is called Reverie, which is kind of like a daydream. You just kind of let your mind roll along. It's a very beautiful piece of music. The melody in the beginning is played on the chime instruments. I don't know if you've been able to see those back here, but this is a chime instrument. It's made from aluminum, has a clapper just like a handbell. It sounds kind of like a xylophone or a marimba. And you know what? They sustain forever unless you damp them. We have that problem sometimes. Anyway, there we go. So, this is Reverie. All right. So, close your eyes. like to stand for the next piece and come in closer? Would you be interested? So just follow me. Anybody else? If you can just go along that side wall. Okay. Anybody else? You're missing out. Look at that. There we go. Just follow right over there. Okay. Anybody else? It's really cool to see the bells up close. You'll be sorry. No? No? Okay. You got room?
I don't want them to get wet.
You can go back. Just don't stand under the water. Just follow right over there. Okay. Anybody else? It's really cool to see the bells up close. You'll be sorry. No? No? Okay. Great. Okay. All right. So our last piece is lots of fun. It's called Ocean City Shuffle. I don't know if any of you do the shuffle, but you can't do it for this piece. But it has lots of rhythm, lots of techniques. We use mallets, we do all kinds of power swings. Everything is in this piece. So we hope you will enjoy it. And again, thank you for being with us today, that we could share our music with you. You've been a great audience, and I can't wait to see your standing ovation. Good. And let me just say, before we do the last piece, thank you to the ringers, because you've been absolutely wonderful to work with. You are such talented and enthusiastic people, and it's been a joy to work with you. So enjoy the last piece, all right? Here we go. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. say, if you want to take a look at the bells, especially the huge bass bells, which you'll hardly ever see, you're welcome to, but don't wait too long because we're going to pack up fast. But you're welcome to come up and take a look. The ringers can show you the bells, or maybe let you have a ring a bell if you'd really like to. So don't be shy. Again, thanks for being here. Hey.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I just say before we all go, just to say, Fred, thank you so much to you again for coming over and leading this wonderful group of people in these gorgeous pieces of music. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you to all of you for coming along, but particularly I want to say a big thank you to Keith.
Yeah.